Back at the Vatican, work continues to prevent the sexual abuse and exploitation of minors. Among those leading the way is a native of Chicago with a background in forensic science and crime scenes. EWTN's Sophia Zubak has more.
So we talked about safeguarding training in the younger grades, and in the middle of that safeguarding training, all these little hands went up in the air. My uncle does that. My dad does that.
Some of the most pressing recent issues in the Church involve allegations of clergy abuse and the protection of minors. To tackle this, in 2013, Pope Francis established a Pontifical Commission for the protection of minors. It is charged with advising the Holy Father on clergy sexual abuse and the safeguarding of children and vulnerable adults. Among the commission members is a native of Chicago who spent nearly 3 decades in the Illinois State Police. Teresa Kettelkamp is the commission's adjunct secretary. She is a former colonel for the Illinois State Police and an expert in policies and guidelines for the protection of minors. She is the former executive director of the Secretariat of Child and Youth Protection for the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. During your time at serving at the Illinois State Police, what would you say posed the biggest threat to minors?
I gave that some thought, and I think the lack of a suitable guardian. All minors and vulnerable persons need a suitable guardian, whether that's a parent, whether that's a caretaker. They need someone that will protect them, guide them. And when that suitable guardian isn't available, I think the Church has a moral responsibility to build a safe environment around them as well.
And could you share how the Commission is currently working to strengthen prevention measures to protect minors in the Church?
Well, the biggest, through our 3 pillars, I'd like to say our universal safeguarding guidelines, which almost is coming to the final stage, will be a big help, and there will be global implementation, and we will take it to the Holy Father for his approval when we've fine-tuned it. But also is the annual report. The annual report does a great job in synthesizing the status of safeguarding in the Catholic Church. And just a little bit about the Memorare initiatives. The purpose of that is to develop an initiative at the local level that will provide safeguarding training as well as welcoming to victims and survivors, to provide them resources and to give them a voice.
Given there have been cases in the Church where abuses have been undetected for a long amount of time, how can the Church ensure timely intervention? And how does also the Commission, how can it work to minimize the possibility of abuse cases going unnoticed?
We identify that as a serious issue in our pilot report. We identified it again in our current annual report. We talk about it when we have the ad liminas. We did not have any this year because of the Jubilee year, but we talk about the key issues that are important to safeguarding during the ad liminas, and also talk to the Episcopal conferences as to what we feel is important for them to have a solid safeguarding program.
Do you think priests should be talking about the abuse crisis more in their local parishes?
I think they should be educated on how to talk about the sexual abuse crisis. One of the things I talk to priests and seminarians is that you're really talking to a wounded congregation. Just the statistics alone, if it's 1 in 6 boys under the age of 18 who are abused, and those are U.S. statistics, much higher in other countries, 1 in 5 females, who you're talking to is a wounded faithful. So all your homilies, all your conversations need to be sensitized to the fact that you're talking to people who are hurting.
If you could implement one global reform in the Church to protect children, what would it be?
Oh, hands down, the universal safeguarding guidelines. But one thing I always tell people is that we're a very diverse world, but culture can never be used as an excuse to abuse a child or vulnerable adult.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Thank you.
And thank you.